guest today is Graham Hill, the MD of Premier Africa Minerals. Graham, good to be joining you again. How are things?
Pretty good, thanks, Mark. I think everything's going positively forwards, and we'll continue to work in that vein for the future.
Good. Excellent. Well, of course, people have, shareholders have seen the RNS release. You've got the general meeting. Of course, there's the call in that for the headroom, of course, for the ability to raise capital to carry on with making preparations for the plant and indeed getting it running. I know you set out some quite good detail there. So what I'm picking up is that shareholders are, again, perhaps a little bit annoyed maybe that they're perhaps being asked to find more money. But then given sort of 24 hours away or after the RNS, I've noticed that people are liking the actual detail that's been set out there. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to just start off by perhaps reassuring shareholders that you're happy that how things are on site, you know, that you've got a grip of the issues, that you're happy with the plan you've set out, just to perhaps reassure shareholders who are perhaps rolling their eyes or doubting a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, thanks very much, Mark. Look, we understand and acknowledge the concerns of the shareholders. It's understandable when they see events like this taking place. But it's all in a positive vein. It's all moving towards what we believe is the right objective for the company as it stands at the moment. I hope we can talk about some of those issues when we have this interview today. I'm not going to go into too much of the history of what's been happening. That's all set out in the RNS. And I think we're trying to get more detail into the RNS reports like that. I mean, I'm an engineer by background. I'm used to setting out the details in an understandable way so that people can try to get a better feeling for what we do and get some reassurance from when they see what we're trying to do and why we're trying to do those things. So the notice broadly covers plans for what we call phase 5. And phase 5 is what is coming up now. And the first thing essential to phase 5 and its successful achievement is the financing of it. As we've set out in the RNS again, we've had problems on some of the last runs we've done that we were probably underfinanced and therefore underprepared in terms of not being able to buy sufficient spares, not being able to necessarily have sufficient ore on the stockpile. This time around, we want to do things right. I've changed the sort of working way of doing things. We've got the mining contractor already started mining.
Okay.
We said we need to have so many thousand tons on the stockpile before we even start running the plant. The moment, in terms of a broad brush time frame, based on the sort of raising of funds and getting everything organized, the next runs would start sometime around mid-November. That is what we plan, and we're planning to try and operate for a 28-day period at that time. So we've started mining. It's essential we've got enough ore. It's essential we have enough spare parts on site, enough reagents, enough fuel to be able to run. And also we're going to fix some of those things where we acknowledge we've got issues, such as areas such as spillage and the water balance, let's say, around parts of the processing plant, in particular the comminution circuit. We've shown, I think, that we're just looking back a little bit in the past. A year ago in July 2024, I've been looking back through some of the records. The plant actually produced material on grade. What they couldn't do at that time was get the grade and the recovery up to par. This year, we've also produced material which has been on grade. And we've actually even produced, got good recoveries at times, but we lost the grade, unfortunately. So now, next time around, we want to try and optimize both of those. We're working on ways, we're still working with Empretec in terms of optimization of the flotation plant. You know, they have put these additional bits and pieces, the crowders, the froth crowders and other things into those cells now. Looking back to recent runs, you know, we did give a lot of responsibility to the OEMs in general to set up some of their equipment the way it should be set up. And perhaps it created some issues which we weren't anticipating. But now we're sort of recovering from those issues, and we're looking to the future runs to be more organized, more controlled, more positive. And we think we've done a lot, for instance, in terms of the milling, in terms of the classification and sizing, in terms of the thickener. There's a lot of upgrades being done there. A lot more controls are in place. We understand the equipment a lot more. One thing I've identified, though, is that it's the bits linking those pieces of equipment together, the sumps and the pumps and the piping. That's where I think we're getting the problems. That's where we're getting the issues with the balance of the water flowing from one part to another part. we haven't got that balance. So I've instituted now, and I've got 2 proposals from independent companies to carry out a design audit on those, let's say, linking pieces of the processing plant,
Okay.
with a view to getting the balance we need to be able to run consistently and positively, and therefore ensure we have feed through to the spodumene plant. Unfortunately, the spodumene plant is the last part of the sequence of the processing plant items. So you have to run 4 or 5 hours before you can even start feeding material to the spodumene flotation plant. So if you have a breakdown somewhere else before that, you can't even start your spodumene plant. So we're trying to address those issues as well.
Okay.
So as I said, we've started mining already. As of today, they did a blast earlier. We should have new ore on the run of mine by Monday. And this is from our what we call EPO area. It is good, very good quality ore. It is very clean ore as well. It hasn't got some of the contaminants such as the talc and some of the serpentinite that we have from the ore in our pit immediately adjacent to the processing plant here. So we're very good and very confident in that now. Just thinking as well. So the target with phase 5 really is to iron out a lot of these bugs we've identified, and then look for long runs.
Yeah.
We wanted to have long, continuous runs as much as possible, and this is where we need the investment, so we can get the spare parts we need, get the fuel we need, get the ore we need to ensure that we can run on these very successfully for long durations, and then really do the final finishing touches to the we call pre-production work on the spodumene flotation plant.
Okay. A lot of detail there. Thank you. It sounds like you've got a grip of the situation. So it sounds like that all major components are performing as they should to get to what you want to. Maybe some improvements later on down the line, but for the moment, that's going to give you what you want. It's the smaller things, the pumps and the pipes, the water balance, the linking, the small things. Is that right? Have I got that right? Did you get that question, Graham?
Sorry, I missed that. This I've had 1 or 2 internet problems here recently.
Oh, no
so
worries. I'll ask
I missed that.
I'll ask it again. Yeah. Is it fair to say that all the major components then are performing as you want them to? Maybe upgrades to come later. It's more this water balance, the pipes and the pumps, the linking bits that have got to be sorted out.
I think there's work to be done there, definitely, and we're applying a bit of science to it this time around by doing a proper audit on it, a proper design audit, putting some numbers to it. A lot of work in the past has been done, let's say, subjectively based on people's opinions of what they thought. That you can't always work that way. Going back to the fact, I'm an engineer by background. That's how I think.
Okay.
That's how I want to see things done. Get it right the first time.
Okay.
So that's the way I'm going. Yes.
And would it be the idea to get those things sort of fixed as best you can before you start the run, because you want to do this continuous running, which is very important, but obviously not going to be able to do continuous running if then you encounter problems. So how do you kind of balance the want to do continuous running whilst getting the problems sorted?
Well, that's the idea. So I'm pushing very hard to have this auditing work done within the next week to 2, which still then gives us time before we start running the plant to be able to implement changes as we need. Checking pump sizes, motor sizes, pipe sizes, simple things like that to get the balance right.
Good. Okay. Well, thank you. Sounds like a lot's going to be happening, so let's keep tabs on that over the next few weeks. Just a few of the questions I've picked up. Is PREM still pursuing offtake partnerships, offtake agreements with other partnerships, or alternative financing?
Oh, very much, yes. I mean, obviously, we don't want to have to go through placement every time we need money. We've got to find money raised from large financial institutions, be it through offtake agreements. As people know, we've been talking to one large trading house. We have the existing agreement with Camax in terms of offtake. But all it comes down to is demonstrating production, and we can then approach other financial institutions as well.
Okay.
We can demonstrate the ability to produce. Then we have options available to us. That's for sure.
Okay.
We've had interest shown.
And on that large trading house, are they still supportive? Still positive engagement going on?
Very much so. Yes, we had a call with them last week. People have been asking about. Well, we had mentioned they were going to carry out a second visit. That second visit was going to be two phases to it. Phase one was they were going to go through the actual resource in some detail and satisfy themselves that the resource was up to the standard we said it was. That has been done, and they were satisfied that the resource we say we have here is a good resource. So that phase was done. The second phase was going to be a visit to the processing plant to see the quality of product we were able to produce. That did not take place during the last runs because we didn't think it was the appropriate time. But, phase one, the resource, that they're happy with that, which is good. So we're comfortable with that. So they're still very supportive. So we had a good call with them last week, and we're happy we can take this forward.
Good, excellent. And just a final question: do you yourself own shares, or if not, or if you do own a few, do you plan to buy shares to sort of align with shareholders here?
I have been planning. I spoke to the Nomad just to make sure I was in an open period. The Nomad advised me at this point in time, no, I'm not.
Okay.
So at this point in time, I'm unable to go out and buy shares. It wouldn't be fair to other people in the business, so I'm not. But obviously, the GM and the raising additional funds now. We understand how shareholders feel about that, and we do ask for support of the shareholders once more. The only way forward for the company is to unlock future shareholder value, and we can only do that by raising funds at this point in time to enable us to actually run the processing plant and prove it can work. So we appreciate the dilutive effect is not preferred by anybody. It's a phase we have to go through in order to be able to unlock value further down the line. So guys, please, we appreciate any support and help you can give to us. We really do need it. Thank you.
Well, Graham Hill, Managing Director of Premier Africa Minerals, thank you very much for your time, and let's keep tabs as you head towards that Phase 5 run.
I'll be very happy to, and good to talk to you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.